Hey everybody, RockPaperMario here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Shield. Y'all mind if I praise the Lord? Apparently. Actually got the timing nice on that one, for once. It is a lovely, sunny Sunday, 30th of May. It is like so beautiful outside. I'm totally going to go for a nice walk after this recording session. It's 10 AM. We're sitting down to a nice morning recording session of the Crown Tundra. I changed my outfit a little bit. I was like, it's time for a change. But only a little. I think I've worn pretty much this same outfit before, so it's not that big. It's not like I reworked my whole image or something like that, so don't get too excited. But yeah, in the last part we discovered a further clue to another adventure, and in this part we want to head on over here to Bob Pataki and see if he knows anything about it, see if he made up anything about it. I'm finally getting some quantity time with my darling Helga. Dropped something at base camp? Is that really mine? I don't recall ever writing it. Uh-oh, what's going on? It's an emergency! I can't believe they let that kid in there. They go on about how dangerous it is. They're like, They're like, oh, you have to be careful, the max layer or whatever. And then there's like this 5-year-old child in there. We don't know if they're Pokemon. What? And she's imposter Professor Oak. You can't trust her anyway. Look, she's even like smiling, like somewhat deviously. She's like, oh, has something caused alien beings to appear? Delightfully devilish, Seymour. Somehow connected to that ultra wormhole that opened up briefly in the sky, which... what? I didn't see that at all. Apparently that's what the picture is in the clue, though. You know what that means, my boy? Bet you a new expedition's approaching. And I know just what to call this one. They came from the ultra beyond. Don't quit the day job, Peony. Well, he actually has quit his day job. His day job was being a gym leader, and he quit it to come here doing his midlife crisis quantity time with his daughter. Now get pumped for some more adventuring. Penis pumped. What's this guy want? Okay, whatever. So yeah, pretty much all we have to do now is do max rate adventures, as far as I know, so I hope strap in for a hell of a ride, I guess. Yeah, I will. As far as I know anyway, that's literally how we do this mission. We just do Dynamax Adventure. Ready for adventure! Like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. And eventually the storyline draws to a close when we see like a specific Pokemon at the end of it. So that's what we have to do. I'm not sure how many times we'll have to do this. Because I think when I did this first on my main file, I had already done a lot of Dynamax Adventure. Well, not a lot, but quite a bit, so I'm not sure how much they expect you to do it. So what are we going to go for here? I like this, to be honest. Good type coverage, good HP. Psyshock will give you like physical coverage, and Expanding Force will give you some good special coverage. If they don't pick the poison one, then I'm going to go crazy. We want to fight the poison one. Believe me, we want to fight the poison one. I don't know how this works, actually. Is it like a voting system? Or is it like a... like, just like... you know, is it a voting system? Like, if like, the majority wins, and if it's 50-50, it's a toss-up? Or is it like that, is it like picking the courses in Mario Kart Wii Online, where it's just like random? It's going to be a random one of the ones that somebody picked. Oh, a Moongus. He's a cute Pokemon. I don't know. I liked him in Generation 5. And I must say I liked Musharna as well. Was on my party in Generation 5, even though I never finished Pokemon White, because it was just bad. And as far as I know, this is like a as far as I know, this is like a physically defensive Pokemon, or is it just like high HP? It's something like that anyway. It's pretty tanky anyway, whatever it is, so... So yeah, it's just like a nice, beautiful, sunny Sunday morning. It's about 10 AM. I'm planning actually, like, depending on how things go, like how long we have to do this for, we might actually just finish the LP today. Like, it depends. I don't want to, like, sit here for like 3 hours recording just for the sake of it. But if we're on a roll and things are going well, then I might just, like, sit down and record the rest of the LP. Like, just to recap, the rest of the LP is going to be doing this Advent Tour, as well as I want to do Spiritomb, I want to do the Footprints, I want to do, there's like a couple of like special battles I want to do, and then I want to do the Galarian Twinkle Cup, or whatever it's called. It's called something like that. I've got a... So, in contrast to yesterday, it was funny, like in the recording session yesterday I was talking about how normally I'm an espresso drinker, but it's nice to just have comforting instant coffee and regular water or whatever when you're LPing. And here I am this morning doing the complete opposite. I've got a glass of San Pellegrino sparkling water with slices of lime in it, and I've got a nice, like, espresso which I made for myself. So, you know, make of that what you will. Do you know what? I actually will catch this thing, because the last Pokemon is a fairy type. Which tells me that we're going to have to do this more than once. Because, if the last Pokemon is a fairy type, it's probably one of those Tapu things. I forget that there's, like, more than one of them. Like, seriously, that's, like, how much of an impression they made on me in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Yeah, I will. Yeah, why not? It might be useful to have it later down the line. Oh, Evelyn got it. Okay, well, I'm okay with that. Go for it, Evelyn. You got this. We go for the fire one. Oh no, because that's the ghost one. But it's not even like the fully evolved one. It'll be fine. I don't believe that we talked this through. All we did was like randomly vote on it. What item would you like? I'd like the Shell Bell. I'm not a fan of like restricting myself to like only one move that I'm allowed to use for the battle, so. But yeah, here I am. I'm drinking my really nice, rich double espresso and my glass of sparkling water with lime in it, like I'm all that, you know. So yeah, I played more Miitopia again this morning. Like again, just to continue. Like I'm still like on the fence about this game, about Miitopia, because like as I said yesterday, at face value, it's kind of poor, you know. Like the gameplay of it is so repetitive, and especially now, like all of the various scenes that I'm starting to see are even like all repetitive as well. Like I'm seeing the same kind of ones over and over again, so I'm like, okay, can we just get on with it? And there's like another thing that like kind of bothers me about it to a certain extent. There's like, so you know the way that you play the game, well, I don't know whether you know this or not, but the way the game works is that you set out on like a little expedition or whatever, right? And then there's like no point in Dynamaxing when I have like nothing that can do much damage to this thing. I'll try Psyshock. Electroshocker! But yeah, you set out on like little expeditions and they'll have this linear path. And along this linear path, you might have like branching paths, so you have a choice. So do you want to go left or you want to go right, right? So then you might choose, oh, I'll go left. You go along the path, you make it to the end of the course, and then that's the end, right? But then, like, actually, in order to, like, do everything completely, you have to, like, go back in and take the alternate path as well. I do not have a problem with this, right? I think that's perfectly legit. We've seen it in lots of games before, and the courses themselves are so short that that doesn't really make a difference to me. Okay, so that's where the baseline is. That's where we stand. Okay, course-based gameplay I'm okay with. Having like alternate paths and then having to go back through again to take the other one, I'm perfectly okay with, right? Here's the thing I'm not okay with. I want you to imagine this image in your head, right? And it is of like an upper path and a lower path, okay? Yeah, I might as well, like, what's stopping me? It's of like an upper path and a lower path, which is what you'd expect from what I just described. But you have to imagine that about, let's say, 3/4 of the way along the upper, or no, about 1/4 of the way along the upper path, there's another alternate path, so you can then go either up and down on the upper path. So you can go down towards the middle or up towards the top. And then it's the same on the bottom. You have another like upper path that can bring you to the middle, and then yes, I do actually, because the steel type attack. Yeah, great. Okay. So you have to imagine that, right? So imagine that in the end, I'd like to fight the fighting type Pokemon. If they don't pick this, they're idiots. We have a ghost type Pokemon, a poison type one, and one flying and psychic type yeah, okay. So apparently I'm not with idiots this time. The other times I felt, the other time I did this, I felt like I was with fools. I was amongst fools. I'm going to take the wise glasses because I feel like in the long run they're going to do more for me than the shell bell. So you've done, but so it would be one thing if, for example, these two paths, they converged in the middle on a central path, and sometimes that does happen, right? So that's one thing. But sometimes what will happen is that it'll just link you back to the lower one. So basically these two technically two different extra paths have like 0 value, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is, so imagine that there is that middle path, so that technically there are 3 paths. So you go up, or you go down at the start, and then 1/4 of the way along either the upper or the lower path, you also have the choice to go. You also have the choice to go up or down, and then go into the middle, right? The game counts that second step, those two different choices, as 2 separate paths, even though you're not accomplishing anything. They're like literally like about 2 seconds, and then you get onto the middle path again from either the top or the bottom. So in that instance where the path is laid out like that, you end up having to play that course 4 times. So pretty much like an extra time, even though in the end there are only 3 different paths, if you get what I mean. So there's like a top, a middle, and a bottom. But in order to get the flag, you know, and make sure that you didn't miss anything, I don't need this in my life. You can just go back to Ugly Pokemon Anonymous, where you came from. Don't take this. If somebody takes this, I'm going to be so mad. You've caused me to have faith in you. Please don't, like, punish me for having faith in you, my fellow players. Evelyn, don't do it to me. We got a good thing going, baby. Thank you. You're restoring my faith in humanity, Evelyn. So yeah, like, that's something that I really don't like, because I'm not a fan of that kind of just playing for playing's sake. So that's one of the things where I'm just kind of like, oh no, it's not one of those tattoo Pokemon. It's Xerneas. Okay. I've been seeing you a lot lately, Xerneas. Or rather, I haven't been seeing you sometimes. So yeah, I don't know, Miitopia? Like, if you asked me, should I spend €50 on Miitopia, I would tell you no. Like that's what I spent on it, because I was like, I want to play it, you know. I'll you know, the price of entry, I'll pay it, and then I'll see what happens, you know. And it was, and the creating and all of that is fun. But then when you like get down below the veneer of like when you get down below the veneer of the, that's going to get old. When you get down below the veneer of the me creation, which is very fun, right? When you get down, when you get below that surface, there's very little that it then has to offer, if you know what I mean. So after that, it's kind of like the same stuff over and over again. And I guess I don't find that enjoyable for the same reason that I don't really find mobile games, most mobile games, enjoyable. And that's that I don't find stimulation in just like mind-numbingly doing the same thing over and over again. It's the same reason why I'm not a fan of grinding in video games, or games that like have a lot of like crafting mechanics and like therefore material gathering and stuff. It's just not something that brings me joy. So, you know, when you look at it that way, I don't think it kind of matches up with what I usually look for in a video game, which is something that stimulates me. And if I have to kind of mind-numbingly just do the same or extremely similar things over and over again just for the sake of doing it, it's not something that I'm going to enjoy doing in the long term. So, I don't know. I kind of made the decision this morning that instead of then like exhaustively doing all of the different paths, that I just like play through it. And I feel like I'm overpowered as well. Like, that's the thing. I'm wondering maybe I'm just like too old for this game. That's also what I'm asking myself, is maybe I'm just not the right age demographic for it anymore, for Miitopia, because like I feel like I'm completely overpowered. Like all I've done, I haven't like done any grinding. All I've done is like what the game has offered me to do, which is all of the stages. I've gone through each of the different branching paths in the stages and things like that. I fed my characters the food I got via the game. I've bought them the equipment that the game offered me and stuff like that. So I've kind of just done whatever the game has offered up to me to be able to do. And this has resulted in me being like what I feel or what I perceive as being like crazy overpowered for the regular enemies in the game. So there's not even that same sense of risk anymore, especially now that I have the horse. Like, the horse just like breaks everything, you know, and I feel like that's also, I don't have that same sense of agency, and that coupled with the fact that I can only decide what my own character does. And even then, sometimes the game decides what to do for me. So, for example, my own character, so Harry in the Miitopia game, is a thief, right? So my regular weapon, the dagger or the knife or whatever, normally hits every enemy, right? And I like that, because you get into battles where there are like 6 or 7 regular enemies that are quite weak, and I just want to hit them all, especially since I'm overpowered at the moment. I could probably take out 4 of them in one sweep. But now that I've reached like affection, like love level, something like 11 or 10 or 8 or something with Gordon Ramsay, or 12 or something, whatever we reached the last time, sometimes I will attack I will attack with the intention of, you know, I want to attack every enemy in a row so that I can like wipe out as many as possible in one hit, you know, because they're weak. But then Gordon Ramsay will say, but why don't we do a pincer attack? And my character will say, that sounds great, you know. And then they'll say like, yeah, my character will go, yeah, sounds great. And then they'll do the pincer attack, which is really powerful, right, on one enemy, so it'll only attack one enemy instead of doing what I intended to do originally, which was to attack all of them with a weaker attack, but which was still more than sufficient. And they'll do a single attack together, like a dual tech almost, on this one enemy that'll do like, let's say, 4 times its total max HP. And I'm like, that's such a waste of my time. And it annoys me because I'm like, I don't like relinquishing control in video games. I'm not a fan of auto battling. Not like with the team members, I can tolerate it, you know, with my fellow team party members or whichever. But when they start like interfering with what I want to do, I really don't like that at all. So I don't know. Things like that are kind of turning me off even more now that I play it, as well as the fact that it's just like extremely repetitive. Did we just lose? Did we lose? I think we lost. We totally lost. That was bad. And we could have won it as well. We had like literally... I don't know. I suppose I'll take you. What's the summary? Sigilith. Wonder Skin, right? Okay. Do you know what? I don't really want either of them. I don't want any of them. So yeah, well, I guess that's something we'll have to do again. But yeah, still and all, despite all of those things that I, like, don't like about this game and that I find, like, deeply flawed, I'll still sit down in the morning and, like, play it for a half an hour or something like that and mind-numbingly go through some of the courses or whatever. Watch Judge Judy and Whoopi Goldberg go to the cafe. Anyway, that's enough for this video, I think, for that discourse on Miitopia. I think in the next video we'll continue with the max rate adventure, but I might start just, like, cutting to what, like, the most important or relevant things are, because otherwise this is going to take, like, 500 years, so... Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye now.